Hey CNC fam, our beautiful people. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another episode of Cremas and Coquitos.
I am Napoleon.
And I'm Kristina.
So today we'll be talking about toxic femininity. What do you think about that?
Like that.
Do you think femininity can be toxic?
Yeah, I think both male and females can always be toxic. Any person can be toxic. So yeah, I believe in feminine... What is it?
Being toxic.
Yeah, feminine toxicity.
Okay, so let me start with a quick definition. So toxic femininity occurs when women use society's feminine stereotypes to their advantages.
Okay.
Right? And it occurs when women wrap barbs and insults in veiled kindness and empathy. That's being passive aggressive. And it can take an even darker consequences, like when a woman falsely accuses a man of physical abuse in order to gain custody of a child.
Oh, yeah. I think we know people that have lied on other people.
And you know
in
that
horrible situations that can lead them into jail time. So
yeah, and you know that
I know that definitely exists.
Mm-hmm. So,
and there was a show we were watching where, I forgot what show it was, where a mom... Wasn't it on Fix My Life? I don't remember. Where a mom was coaching her daughter to say that her father molested her. And her father never molested her. Crazy. That is toxic to the max.
Yeah, and then whenever it was found out via lie detector tests and everything.
Sorry. No jail time, nothing.
No, she didn't even say sorry. She didn't even want to admit even take accountability that she misled her two daughters, I think her adult daughters, who are now their 20s, probably like late 20s, 30s,
to coaching them.
Their whole entire lives, they thought their father molested them. Yeah, but that's toxic to me. That's insane. That's extremely toxic to me.
That's like the definition of toxic femininity.
So now you have another. Do you think that talking over or belittling other women, do you think that's toxic behavior?
Yeah, definitely. Belittling anyone that's toxic behavior. Just not being a nice person. Yeah,
so you guys are being toxic to each other before you even being toxic
for sure.
to us. Okay. So do you think, like we were saying before, passive aggression, when it comes in the form of like eye rolling, the fake laugh, or patronizing comments, what do you think about that? Those kind of traits
I
being
don't know if eye rolling and like a comment here or there is toxic. I just think that's a normal human gesture. Everyone eye rolls, or I'm the best at eye rolling.
So that's passive aggressive behavior.
Yeah, I don't know if that's toxic. I just think those are normal things to do when you have a strong feeling.
Okay, so what about in the workplace when someone...
I definitely roll my eyes in the workplace to my bosses, and I've been told that by different bosses, yeah,
that you don't know how to control.
That I roll my eyes at them.
Yeah, so you don't know how to behave accordingly inside the workplace.
I'm not trying to roll my eyes. I think it just happens.
Yeah, that's something.
Like, oh, that's dumb. Okay, I'm rolling my eyes. Like my body just tells my eyes.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're in a professional setting. It doesn't matter.
I'm literally not trying to roll my eyes, but it just happens because I feel like something's so dumb.
Okay.
It's like, it's just like a
natural
reaction. Yeah, exactly.
A natural reaction.
I can't help it.
So what about smiley faces with harsh worded emails? You know, some people do that.
Like sarcasm.
Yeah, that's also passive aggressive.
It is.
Whenever people write emails, you can tell the tone of the email.
But then you put a smiley face in back of it.
Yeah,
just to soften the blow.
Not even soften the blow. To think you
soften the blow.
Yeah.
Or to make it look like, yeah, and what?
It's either that, or to me, it's always you're challenging the person's intelligence, or you don't respect the person that you're sending that email to.
You're trying to get over on them.
Yeah, that's what I see that is. So what about sabotage?
That could be toxic. Definitely in a workplace.
Anywhere.
Sabotaging.
Any type of you were sending a message, right? You were saying what you want to say in the message because it's harsh. But you end it with, hey, like a smiley face, but you know what I mean? Don't take offense to it, even though I just like unleashed everything that I ever felt about you.
Your breath stinks. I think you should brush your teeth more often. Smiley face.
Exactly. I mean, that's insane to me. So I believe that's a toxic trait.
Yeah, and that could also be a way of the person who doesn't really know how to be that direct and thinks like, oh, if I'm direct, it's gonna be like, it's gonna cause some type of thing between me and my friend or a coworker.
I can see
so
that.
I'm gonna add a smiley face at the end of it, so they know we're still friends. I don't know. I still think yeah.
I think it's done on
still
purpose.
Toxic.
I think it's done on purpose. What about sabotage, right? Like lying for self-gain.
For sure, toxic. But doesn't everyone do that?
Lying for
self-gain? Wouldn't anyone lie for self-gain?
Yeah, people lie for self-gain. That doesn't change the fact that it's a toxic trait, right? So lying for self-gain, giving misleading advice. So let's say that you have a friend.
And I know it's misleading.
You know it's misleading. She may be in a relationship with a guy, and you know the guy's playing her. But because you're a toxic person, right, you don't want to see her happy, so you give her misleading advice for her to stay with the guy. Or maybe the guy's a good guy, and you're not happy for her. And then any little thing that he does or something or whatever,
like, oh,
you
girl,
find
leave. So we could both be single.
Yeah, exactly. So things like that, giving misleading advice. And
Yeah,
you think
that's horrible. Yeah, look, everything you're describing is just not a good person.
But do you think people do this? Do you
of course,
do you know people that do this?
Yeah,
Do you think
there are evil people. And I think more often than not, misery loves company. Especially nowadays, where everyone is single. It's like, oh, girl, when are you gonna be single? Oh, your man's doing this, your man's doing that. Come to the single side.
Exactly.
Come out with me. Let's go clubbing.
So what do you think about mocking others for their work or decisions? Do you think that's toxic?
Mocking others for their decisions? Like when we were talking about, for example, calling people pick-me's because they have a different opinion than you. Okay, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You're basically saying, if you don't agree with me, like,
you're an enemy.
You're an enemy.
You're against me.
Yeah.
And I must get rid of you.
And I'm going to call you out for not agreeing with me.
So what about...
Something must be wrong with you if you don't agree with me.
So that's someone you would say was trying to manipulate situations to make others look bad.
Yeah.
Right? So that's another toxic trait, right? That
manipulation.
Being manipulative. Yep. That's a toxic trait. Now let's talk about jealousy, right? Jealousy. So let's talk about resentment and bitterness towards other women for their looks, popularity, and professional performance. Do you think that's toxic? Do you think when women compete inside the workplace based on things like that, looks, popularity, and professional performance, do you think it's healthy or do you think it's toxic?
A little bit of both. I think it's healthy for you as the person who's jealous because it's going to make you want to be better. You know?
You think it always makes someone...
I mean, anybody could put it... It could go either way, really. It can make you into a shell of a person, like depressed and like, oh, man.
But if you're competing with someone, right, you know you look better than them and you're more popular than them, is that a fair competition? Is that a competition at all?
I wouldn't be competing with someone that's below me, basically, because I already won the competition. They'd be competing with me.
Yeah, the people who feel they're above you, who either look better than you, who is more popular than you, how would you feel if they compete with you because they know they have the edge in the workplace?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I really don't care about other people like that.
You don't get this behavior in real life, right?
If someone was competing against me, I'd be like, go for it. Like, I'm just being me. Like, I'm not gonna go extra hard to try and prove something to you. Like, you're not my superior. You're trying to get something. Like, let's say there's two positions, one position, and two people going for it. You're trying to get it. I'm trying to get it. But I'm not going to feel like I'm in competition with you. I'm just going to do my best to do it.
And how would you feel if that person got it over you, but they use some of these tactics? Some of these, like you know it's because their looks or their popularity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would chuck it up to that's the world we live in.
Okay.
Like, I'm not...
So you're content in yourself. Yeah. You're happy with yourself. You don't need to project or do anything.
I'm too laid back for that.
That I know already. So what about competing with other female colleagues through looks, dominance, work, or sexuality? Because you know, there's some women who they're more feminine than others.
Okay.
In the workplace, and that gets you a little bit more leeway when you're softer.
With a man, I think, not with when you have a woman.
No, if you have a woman boss, that probably gets you less
with
leeway.
a man, but I also know how to come across to men bosses, and I've never had a problem with men bosses. So I think I would win in that category. Okay. Just being me.
So all of these, I think, are just a few traits that I think females and women in general, like, just exhibit, like toxic women. I think ever since the feminist movement, it started off good, right? It started off as you guys looking for choices and the right to just choose what to do with your bodies, choose what to do with your life, and not be limited. Mm-hmm. I think that's how it first started.
And now it's evolved to something else.
Now it's kind of just like, since you guys know you have the right to choose and the right to do whatever you want, I think you guys just choose violence overall.
I think the most toxic thing, would be in a relationship, would be women holding kids against the dad.
I believe that too.
I think that's one of the most toxic things you can do.
Weaponizing your kids,
weaponizing your kids against the father, mm-hmm. or you started dating you ain't picking up our kid. You ain't gonna have our kids around a new girl. I don't trust you anymore. Or that's just really toxic. And then, like, I'm gonna put you on child support if you don't do this, or that. Like, just holding things against people. Very toxic. Mm-hmm. And we see that more now because we see more single parent households, but we see that more nowadays. But we didn't get here all by ourselves.
No, I know that. We as men, I think, allowed
y'all led the toxic movement.
Yeah, I always say we fell asleep, right? We let you guys rock us to sleep because you guys rocked us to sleep. You guys told us all we want is just the right to choose. We're not gonna OD. And then when we woke up, y'all OD'd.
No. I think y'all woke us up out of our beautiful sleep.
Okay.
And you made us into this because we have that much power over you. You did, for sure.
So
men had that much power over us. All the men say, oh, women, you weren't toxic. You used to be in the house, very feminine, used to listen to us, and you would know your place, quote unquote. And now,
I think women were toxic. I'm not saying women weren't toxic back then.
How were women toxic back then?
Because women were always women. So all these traits.
I don't think women did nearly half as.
That's what I'm arguing.
But we got here because the men didn't know how to treat us when we were in our feminine and cooking and cleaning and being housewives.
That's how you think we got here? You don't?
Hell yes.
You don't think it was something that was taught to you guys by your mothers? It was
taught to us by our grandmothers and mothers because our grandfathers weren't shit.
That's what you believe.
They were great providers, but they weren't great mates, right? Mm-hmm. So then our grandmothers taught their daughters, oh, you're not going to depend on a man because I depended on a man and look at where it got me.
And I'm still
dependent on a man.
And where did it get her?
And I want to leave. It got me abused, married, stuck.
Mm-hmm. Children.
Taking care, Mm-hmm. Not being able to provide a life without my husband for me and my children in an unhealthy marriage.
So codependency.
They were taught, our grandmothers taught their daughters, our mothers, to be independent women, go seek a job, go seek a career and knowledge so that you never have to depend on a man. And then it just kept being passed down.
So do you think that's good advice? Do you think that's good advice?
I think there has to just be a balance. I definitely believe women have to have their own. Mm-hmm. You have to have an education. You have to have your own money. Just because of how men are. When men know that you are dependent on them, they will abuse that power, no matter how good the man is. I think after a while, they'll be like, oh, they will see you as a child. Mm-hmm. no matter what, and then see you as something else they have, or someone else they have to take care of, and then not really see you as a partner, and they would still want to seek a partner. So they'd have affairs with women they work with, because they see those women as more partners than you. Because they're making money. They're making money. They don't have to give them an allowance or whatever. So we got here because of men. We got here because of our grandfathers.
That's what you think.
Who didn't know how to treat our grandmothers in their full femininity.
Okay, so now that we're here, right, and we're aware.
We're not giving it back.
Yeah.
We don't want to go back to being our grandmothers.
I know you guys are not giving it back. So do you believe that men, we should take it back? We have to take it back. If we
I don't
want
think
the power.
you can take it back.
You don't think men can
You
take it?
can try.
So you don't think that we're not smart enough, we're not strong enough, or it's just too far.
I don't think you want to take it back. Number one, I don't think men want to be head of households.
Okay.
I don't think men want to have the sole provider on their shoulders, being the sole provider.
You think men can't, or you think
both.
men? Okay.
I don't think they want it, and I don't think they can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they want exactly what they have now, a partner who brings in 50-50, but they want their cake and eat it too. And that's where you go wrong, because you want a feminine woman who is
bringing in the same amount of money as you to the house. And then doing more
the housework. You want us to put on our aprons with our dresses and heels and cook and clean with our aprons and dresses on. We'll pass.
Yeah, so the only way you're saying that would work is if the man takes full ownership or majority. Even if he takes majority. Does the expectation change now, or?
I think the expectation does change if I can get a part-time little job that I don't even got to think about when I come home.
Yeah, that you can quit at any moment because it's really not.
But still stashing my money on the side. I think the woman will be more than happy to come home and do the things that you want her to do, because you're offering a different lifestyle.
Yeah, you took off that load, that financial load and that burden.
And the everyday stress of having to be a good employee. So
you believe that because men have failed in their role to provide, that also contributed to toxic femininity. Because now, is it because the women have to go into the workforce and now they're hardened, or is it because women's view on men and how men are just not meeting that need that they need?
I think it's men not meeting our needs and expecting
for you guys to still meet our needs, even though so our needs don't change. Our needs don't change, men and women. Yeah, right?
But the times have changed. But your needs haven't changed, but what we do has changed. So that's not fair.
Yeah, but you guys fought for that, right? We didn't tell you to do it. You guys wanted to be equal. You guys wanted it.
Listen, I wholeheartedly believe if women were actually being treated well, we would have let it rock.
Yeah, I know. You guys would.
So we had to fight for that, right? Because we couldn't own credit cards, cars.
Yeah, but now that you have that right,
now
that you have that right, do you think it's better for you guys? Do you think it's worse? Okay, you guys. So do you understand trade-offs? Do you understand that once you gain something, you have to lose something else?
Yeah. Okay.
So every decision,
equality. So what would we be losing?
You lost the agreeability with men. The relationship you had with men, you lost that. And I know you guys don't care about it.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, no, you lost that.
Yeah. So we
don't care.
Okay. So
you lost. Now I lost being agreeable to my husband, who used to treat me like shit when I had nothing.
Not your husband. You're talking about stories that you heard from your mother and your grandmothers about their husbands. Your husband, you have to be a wife first. And you have to be in that relationship for you to know how your husband's going to treat you. So you're not talking about your husband. You're talking about stuff that you were told, which is where I believe it came from. I believe women were told the wrong. Yeah, but I believe women are told the wrong thing, because I don't ever see mothers telling women how to be wives. They're wives. They have husbands. They know what they're doing. They're always telling women the opposite. How for you not to agree with a man instead of how you should be with a man.
I don't think it's how not to agree with a man, but how to not have to.
Being independent and preaching independence, right? Instead of interdependence, I think makes you not agree with a man. Like just that message alone, I think you guys internalize it differently. And instead of you taking it as, I'm going to have my own, he's going to have his own, right? We're going to come together. We're going to build this life. You guys always think, while I'm in here, I have to have an exit strategy. You're always thinking of an exit strategy. You're always thinking about what if something goes wrong. When I think before, people used to think about, this is going to be peaches and cream. Right? We're going to live a beautiful life. When I'm in this for the long term. So I think the mindset change, and I think that's one of the negatives of feminism. Your mindsets, as we empower you guys, your mindsets change. And the mindset doesn't agree with what we want.
Okay.
So now that we talk about empowerment, what does woman empowerment look like? Right? And what is woman empowerment to you?
So to me, women empowerment is just women empowering each other.
So I'm
like giving each other jobs, tips, helping them with anything and everything in life to succeed.
Positivity, right? So women empowerment, this is a definition. Women empowerment is promoting women's sense of self-worth, right? Okay. Their ability to determine their own choices and their right to influence social change for themselves and others.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's women empowerment. That sounds very good, right? Doesn't sound toxic at all.
No.
So why do you think we have this toxic society? If that's what empowering women is, why are we not empowering women and we're choosing violence?
Choosing violence. I don't know. Maybe it's because once a woman is successful, a man automatically feels
you see how you point outwards?
Yeah.
Once a woman is successful,
is that toxic?
That's very toxic, right? Because you have to take some accountability. So if a woman is successful and she becomes comfortable, her bar now reaches, she says she can't date somebody below her.
Yes.
Right? So that tells you that you should be pairing with somebody whenever you haven't made that much money, because that would increase your chances for you to.
No, but then I see what you're saying. Like, if I'm younger, I don't have that much money, I have more options. You have more options. I'll be more willing to date someone making $40,000 because I'm making $30,000 when I'm younger, right? But now that I'm older, I'm making six figures. And now I can't date someone making $40,000. You
can. You don't want to.
I wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to because naturally women doesn't want to date down.
I don't want to take care of a man.
Exactly.
Who's not even taking care of me.
So you
can't take care of me if I'm making double what you.
So make. as a woman, you are earning yourself out of the market. Yes. Right? Because naturally you want someone above you, and naturally everybody doesn't make six figures, right? But once you make that threshold...
Whose fault is that?
What do you mean?
It's not the women's fault.
No, there are men that make six figures, but you don't qualify for those men either, because those men don't want you, because the men who make six figures don't want a woman that makes six figures normally.
Yes, that's true.
So therefore, if we are talking about...
They want someone they can control too.
No, they want someone that depends on them.
Exactly. Someone they can control.
Not only depend on them, right? They also want some personality traits. Agreeable, friendly.
They can control.
No, agreeable, friendly does not mean. Does
they
not
want
also
a yes man. Sir woman.
I don't think we want a yes woman. We want an agreeable woman. That doesn't mean that you're just going to say yes for everything.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, so when I say agreeable, I don't mean that you're always going to say yes. So men, especially me, I want a woman who has a pleasing disposition, right? That means that you 9 times out of 10 aim to please me, aim to please people, right? That's the kind of energy that we like to be around, right? So when we empower women, right?
Wait, hold on. And then 9 times out of 10, you aim to please me?
9 times out of 10, do I aim to please you?
Should the man aim to please the woman?
Yes, it goes. Okay. It goes vice versa. I aim to please you. You aim to please me. That's what the goal always should be. You know what I mean? And we have to be clear on what pleases us. What our needs are, right? And then we need to put on the table and see if our partner will meet that. But if you refuse to meet it for any reason whatsoever, but you remain in the relationship, that becomes toxic. So empowering women, right? We can do it socially, right?
Okay.
And socially, what do you think socially, empowering women socially means? How?
Me Too movement.
Ha 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 ha. You see that Me Too movement is another thing to me, but
showing and telling women that they have this equal rights as men when it comes to, well, I guess that could be political too, reproductive rights.
That's biology. So reproductive is like biology. So socially, I would say is having women knowing that they can make their choices in relationships. They can know they can make their choices in a social setting, any way, shape, or form. You can be whoever you want to be. There's
equal
no
opportunity
limits.
to do the same thing you do in the outside world.
Yeah, and no double standards, no nothing. That's like, I believe in double standards, but that's why to me it's hard to.
So what are some of your double standards?
There are a lot of double standards. So one double standard I can tell you is women don't have all the time in the world to pick a good mate because of biology. But men, we can wait and we can pick somebody real late because we don't have a biological clock, right? So that's a double standard.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't feel like women are acting as if they don't have all the time in the world.
Yeah, I feel you.
So women now,
women just don't want to settle.
Yeah, but women don't want to settle. I understand that, but you also are fighting against the clock. So if you don't want to settle, right,
but then it's like, do I have a kid and then be a single mom? So that's what a lot of people are doing because they know they're fighting against the clock, and that's why women prioritize kids more than getting married. And we see it on all these interview shows, like, oh, I'm a single mom. I knew I wanted kids, so me and my partner decided to have a kid, but we didn't want to get married.
Okay,
we didn't want to be married.
So single mothers come in all shapes and sizes, right? And single motherhood, there is no discrimination on who it is, right? Because there are women who are top earners, there are women who come from all walks of life, they're all single mothers. But when we talk about single mothers, we group all of them, together, in one pool, right? But overall, I don't think women are going to say women who are single mothers have children primarily because their clock is ticking. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's a movement now where it's just like, I don't even care if I get married. I think single motherhood comes from unprotected sex, period. Yeah. No matter how it is, no matter how you want to say it, I think it is people who are having sex, right? People who are making the wrong choices in men. Some men are chameleons. We know that. Some men will present themselves in a way, and then once you get serious with them, you have a kid with them, we will bail, right? I don't believe that's a majority of men, even though that people are trying to push it like that's what men are and that's why people are single mothers. I don't believe that's why people are single mothers. I believe that single mothers make the choice to be with a guy. The guy shows red flags, right? You ignore the red flags because of what you want. Yeah. You then get pregnant, right? I believe some guys tell you, I don't want to have the kid, right? And you say, yes. You have the kid anyway. For whatever reason, you have the kid anyway, right? Which that's your right to choose, but it's also your sole right. There's nothing that we can do as men to tell you not to have the kid because the ultimate decision is on you to have the kid. Once you have the kid now, you are looking to make this puzzle piece fit and whole. And it's like, you made a choice on your own to do what you want to do. Now you're coming on the back end for us and asking us. And now we have this conversation of we both made this baby. We both laid down to make this baby after the fact. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's what I think a majority of single mother relationships are. And although I know that there have been tons of men who are married and once you get a divorce, these women also become single mothers, right? But I still don't think that the court systems are fair to guys. You know what I mean? When it comes to that. So I just think by default, women get the children and guys are just forced outside of the household.
I don't know how true that is anymore, but yeah, that's how it definitely used to be.
Do we empower women at all expenses, or should there be a consideration for the effects this has on society and relationships? Do you believe that we can just empower women in general, just to empower them no matter what it affects?
I think, women should be empowered. Just like any minority group should be empowered.
You guys are a minority group?
Hell yeah.
That's why I could not tell you guys are the minority.
Yeah, we are. Mm-hmm. Because we're so strong. So you think empowering women at all, like in every scenario, would have a negative effect on society? Yes,
I think giving women the right to choose will empower women to make the wrong choices that you guys have been making.
Are you talking about like abortions or what? The right to choose in any.
The right to choose, I think, set you guys back more than it push you guys forward. Okay. Right? Because I know you think the opposite. You think it's better, the society's better and everything. I think you guys feel like you're better, right? I think you guys generally feel like you're in a better space. But when you look outside, it's hard now to get married. Yes. It's hard now to settle down, right?
Yeah, that's true. We do have a lot of choices. So it makes it harder for women to want to settle down because we don't want to settle. We shouldn't settle.
No, because you think there's always something better. That's what choices does, right? Before, men, we've always had the right to choose. We don't go and say there's always something more. There's always something more. There is a point where we get satisfied as men. And we say, we're going to settle down. We're going to pick this woman to be our wives, right? You guys don't have that. You guys are always...
Y'all are barbaric.
Yeah, we are barbaric. I think
You cook, I eat, marry me.
Yeah, that is not the only requirement for marriage, even though that's what it looks like. Because we always say you gotta cook for us and everything else, but that's not the only requirement. So do you think empowering women have a negative effect on how men and women coexist?
Yes, okay. I could say that for sure. Mm-hmm. I think so.
In what way?
I would just say. Women being successful has made the household a little bit different in a negative
turbulent,
way.
Yeah, out of order.
Out of order.
It's out of order.
And it might also be because men can't weather the storm.
You think it's our inability to weather the storm because the storm has no direction, right? So usually. We would know where you're going, and if we know where you're going, right, it will be easier for us to weather the storm. But it seems like you guys make it up every day, day by day. You make it up, and however you feel that day.
As we go.
Yes. However you feel that way is how it's going to go. It's how it is. It's how you see it. It's how you guys, you know what I mean, embody it and everything. So as a man, you don't think it's hard for us to deal with someone whose feelings change? People who put all their decisions through feelings instead of putting in your decisions through logic. Wouldn't you think that's hard for a man to deal with? And would you want someone who
I can't say, like, just for me, you are more logical than I am. I am more emotional. And I think that can be the case for majority relationships, right? Okay. The man is more logical than the female. Typically. Or makes more logical choices. Typically. Mm-hmm. But I think men still want to be regarded as, like, superior.
Which we are.
Yeah, right.
Which we are.
Why? What do you do that constitutes you as, like, being superior?
I'm not even gonna say superior because that's gonna put us down a whole nother rabbit hole. We all have our place, right?
And you think a man is like, so you could be the head of household, but I don't think that means you're superior.
No, we are the head of household.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're superior.
So we are the leaders.
Okay.
Leaders don't make us superior.
No.
Okay, so that's fine.
We allow you to lead.
Correct.
We want you to lead.
Correct.
That doesn't make you, like, a better human.
We're not a better human being than you are because we have our flaws, you have your flaws. We're built differently, right? What we do, the way we think, right? I think progresses the family, right? The way you guys are, you're nurturing. Which also progresses the family. But as far as our minds, I think we're superior in the fact that we think logically. I think that makes you a great
fit to be a husband and leader. But I don't think that makes you superior, because I think what makes anyone superior is being able to do something the other gender cannot.
We're stronger than you.
We're stronger than you.
No, I mean physically stronger than
Us
you.
too. If you've ever pushed out a kid, tell me you're physically stronger than me.
You guys, right? Your level of pain, that pain threshold is higher than ours.
Yes.
I'm saying physical strength. It's like me and you.
You can lift up something I can't.
If a man and a woman, 9 times out of 10 get into a fight, who do you think will win?
Well, yeah.
That is the same. That is the same reason why whenever a guy goes to report that he's been,
people laugh.
Yeah, people laugh at it. You know what I mean? So that's the same thing. We're naturally stronger than you guys, right? So to me, if we really want to take this thing back, we could have.
Oh, right? By beating us up?
By strong arm. You guys strong armed. You guys strong armed us. That's what I believe. You guys strong armed us to get to where you are. Yeah, I know. I don't believe we want this either, because I believe now guys are comfortable where we are now. Even though it's a messed up world.
I think the real only thing you guys gotta be is your stature. Yeah. Okay. Your body build.
I think you're a superior woman. Okay, so
I think women are superior beings.
I think you're a superior woman. I don't
agree.
Yeah, I don't think all women are superior beings, but I believe you have the characteristics, you have the mindset, you have all of the stuff, all the good qualities that a wife should have. So I will always concede whenever you speak from that, you speak about you. So I know that you can get it confused, but these women out here, I will not say they're superior beings, because if they were, men would be choosing them and taking them off the market.
I also agree with that.
Yeah, so to me, that alone tells me that you guys are not the modern day women, right? Yeah. Another thing that's toxic that you guys do is when a relationship ends, it's always blamed on the man. Women always will say it's something the man did. He cheated. He was abusive. He didn't listen to me. He didn't make me feel this. He didn't make me happy. Or bashing
the guy you were with. It's like you were with him for mad long, or you chose him to be with him.
Making it seem like you was in a relationship. You making it seem like you was in a relationship where it was all bad. Like that's what women usually do, and that's a double standard, and women get away with it because men saying that, oh, this woman was this woman did me dirty, this and that. A man would look at him like, are you crazy? Like why were you even in that situation? Like we hold each other accountable. We may not speak to each other as much as we should, but when we do speak, we tell each other, yo, you're stupid. Why did you do that? We don't go and say, yo, it had to be that woman, yo. It ain't you. Nothing's wrong with you. Like, we don't do that. But in y'all world, y'all keep women stagnant because you don't tell each other the truth.
I could see that. I think you're right on that.
So why do you think women deflect, attack, or resort to name calling when you call out their unacceptable behavior?
Because we want to be right. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to be called out for being wrong.
But aren't you guys human beings that want to be treated as equal partners? Can you not have a conversation whenever someone makes you uncomfortable or calls out something that you don't agree with?
I think it does make that conversation hard because we want to be like perfect little angels, beings.
But you guys are also strong and our partners and equal and make all this money. So what is that about? Yeah, but we don't
want to. You know, when people say, like, you're wrong, it makes you sound like you don't know what you're doing. We never want to look like that. Like, we don't know what we're doing or, like...
But do you agree no one's always right?
Yeah, I agree. And I agree we don't really take accountability, like, especially, like, just for me talking about myself. Like, I never used to take accountability.
And do you think most women don't take accountability?
Yeah, I think most women are just like me. I think we are, we have a lot of similarity. Like, all women have a lot of similar things that we do.
Just like all men.
And being accountable is one of them. Unless you're, like, really hyper aware of, like, your emotions and your feelings and all that. Like, you can take, you would know how to take accountability. But I think for the most part, we're just like, I'm not wrong. I'm perfect. Yeah. You are the messed up one.
Everything just happens to me. I'm always the victim. I have tons
of friends that are like this.
Yeah, but women act like they have no choice. And you guys have all the choice in the world. So how can you be a victim now if you have all the choice in the world? And you guys are super empowered. But you guys are also afforded that opportunity to hide behind the fact of saying it's always someone else that did it to me. So
I agree with that.
So do you feel it's hard for women to receive constructive criticism?
Yeah, because any criticism is still criticism. I don't want any criticism.
And why do you think that? Do you think it's because you don't want to change? You don't want to accept the fact? What do you think it is?
And I don't want anybody to think I'm flawed. That's what that goes back to.
So if you're doing that, but when it comes to a man, you can always point out his flaws. You expect for him to change. What kind of environment do you think that will?
I'm making you better. It is toxic. That's toxic.
Okay, so that's toxic, but that's the world you think that we live in now.
Yeah.
Most people, you would say.
That's what I always did to you.
Thank you for admitting that. Thank you for admitting
I'm perfect, but here's how you can be better for me. Okay,
got it. So women who behave in a way that men would appreciate are called pygmies, like how you said before. And also people look down upon women that strive to be pygmies. What do you think? What do you think about a pygmy?
I just really learned the term. Like, I always would hear it, and I'd be like, what is a pygmy? What does that even mean? Right? But I don't agree with that. Because what if I just have if I agree with my man, or if I agree with, I see how women are treating my brother, cousins, other people, and I agree with their point of view, that doesn't make me less of a woman. Or
you're going against the establishment. You're going against
our woman.
Yeah. Anything. You guys fight for the right to be wrong and strong. That's what I believe, you guys. And when you guys are wrong, you guys double down on it. So
I definitely can see that.
Yeah, that's a toxic trait that all women have, I think. Right? Even if you're a good woman, I just think women fought for the right to be wrong and strong.
Like, women should be able to have their own opinions and not be subjected to being called a pygmy or whatever.
Yeah, no accountability, no nothing.
Like, I could have my opinion. Just because I have my opinion on this and you feel like I'm on the guy's side on something doesn't mean I'm less of a woman or a pygmy.
A pygmy is not less of a woman to me. A pygmy to me is a woman that's putting herself in a position to be picked by men. So that means that she has behaviors that men like, right? I don't think
that is why the other women are looking at her as
they're jealous of her. Like,
all you want is
the approval of men.
Yeah.
You don't really believe in these things. You don't really think that you can be happy giving a man what he wants, right? Because as a woman, as a fellow woman, you're probably just like, there's no way a woman can sit there and think that she can be agreeable, she can be friendly, she can do this or whatever with a man, when in our nature,
we don't want to do that.
You guys definitely want to do it inside your nature. But what it is that we're not in our nature. And that's why you guys are not in yours. But you guys, in your nature, you do want a man. You do want a leader. You do want to submit to a guy. You do want to feel comfort. You do want to feel security. All of that is in your chemical makeup. But we're blurring the lines now if we were doing that.
Because men aren't keeping up their side of the
It's not only men. We are failing in our role, but it's not only men. You guys have to take accountability for
the men.
What came first was the men who allowed you guys to get the amount of power that you guys got. That's what I think happened.
Allowed us. I think we had to take it by force because we had to step up in our families.
There's no way you guys could have taken it by force. So
we had to step up for our families.
No, there was no way you guys could have taken the power that we had by force. You didn't take it by force. There was no war. You guys didn't do anything. So it was not by force. What you guys did is you guys massaged our ego. You guys misled us, and you guys said all we're fighting for is equal rights. What's the worst that can happen if you guys see us as equals? We're equals. We're already in the household to bringing in money, doing this stuff or whatever. We're just not recognized as equals in the law and everything else. And then we were like, you know what? You're right. You're right. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And then look at us now. Look at us now. Look at us now. Women, I'm telling you guys don't see that the world changed. You guys don't see that you guys messed this world up.
Oh, God.
I legit think you guys messed this world up, and not just the world. I think you guys messed the relationships up, and in particular, black relationships, I believe, are messed up due to how women think, how women feel, and how women move nowadays, as it relates to men.
And you're saying that's just black women and men? I
think black women and men suffer the most from it, right? Okay. Because I believe every other race, this is what I really believe, every other race, Spanish, white, Indian, every other race you can think of, their men are still the same men that they are, right? Their men get their women to be agreeable. Their women know how to just submit to them. Like their women just know they don't have any prerequisite where you got to make X amount of money. You got to make more money than me. You have to do this. You have to do that. They just know. I know
because the men in my house are all head of household, but I don't think as a woman who's the head of household, like I cannot submit to a man who's making less than me. I would not advise you to even date a man. So that's where
who makes less than you, only because of the way that you guys view men once you make more than them. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman making more than a man, right? And then living together. But I know that it can't work in your psyche.
Yeah, hell no.
Right? Yeah, so that's why I always advocate for men making the money. I always advocate.
Yeah, so I don't think it's like a black relationship thing. Maybe because the women are out earning the men.
There are women out earning men in other races as well too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't have the stats on that.
But we are the only community that I think that's suffering where our black women are saying we don't need you now that we make this money. Other people know that even though I make money, I know I need a man. A man is more than just his pockets. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I think in our community, we don't.
I mean,
we just don't.
Because a man is more than just his pocket, but the pockets is like one of the most important things. Yes. Because how can you hold a family together without the money?
Yes, I agree.
Love doesn't buy a house. It doesn't pay my rent. It doesn't put food on the table.
No.
So I think
doesn't keep you warm at night.
People should prioritize not feelings, but what are you able to provide? I do think that's very important in a relationship because love can dwindle down if you cannot provide a life for a family.
Yeah, we're not arguing that. I'm on board with you with that frame of thought. I'm just saying that you can't put his soul worth on his pockets. That's all. And I believe our women have put the soul worth of a man in his pockets. And if he can't even pay for a date,
because aren't black women out earning their male counterparts, and aren't they more educated than the black male now?
There are women are more educated, right, than men in general. That's in all races. I keep telling you, all this stuff that happens is in all races. The mindset of the black woman in particular is different from all races. That's what I don't understand. You know what I mean? Everybody's going through the same thing in the world. Our women
I don't see that.
Are the only women that are doing this.
I can't say Hispanic women don't care about how much money their man makes, because everyone in my family, all the men make more money than the women. So I couldn't tell you. So
other Hispanic people, right? Let's go outside of your family. Do you in large see Hispanic women emasculating their men in public?
I don't know.
When you go anywhere, when you go anywhere, is there any talk about?
I think today's couples, yes. Young couples, Hispanic young couples, I think across the board, it is the same.
So you're talking about modern, not modern before. We're talking about people. No, because people our age and above. So 30s and above. Do you see?
No, I don't.
In any race.
I don't. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I don't.
When I go, but would you say?
Because we come from.
They were traditional. They were traditions.
Yes,
there's a backbone. You have the support of your family. There's a lot of stuff playing a factor in keeping that structure alive. And our community, it's dead. Like, we don't have the structure to go and say, you have to respect the man. Like, first and foremost, you have to respect the man.
I don't know how true that is.
So you believe most women out here, black women, respect black men.
I do.
You think black women have a positive image of black men overall?
If they don't, I think it's experiential, like what they have experienced in their lives.
You guys put value in things that we don't put value in.
But that's just not the black woman.
That is not the black woman, but what I'm saying is the other women are still
I know plenty of Hispanic single women who have prioritized making money and not prioritizing being married or being in a relationship.
Now, when they're
offering the same thing that the black women are offering.
So those women, when they do get in relationships, even though they make more money or whatever, do you see them poke out their chest? Do you see them tell a man, I'm the head of household now? Or do you think when they get a man, they already know what it is, right? And they know that the man, because of my culture, because everything that I've gone through, the man is head regardless.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's cultural.
Yeah. So why is it that us as black people, why is it not cultural for us?
I think for Caribbean people it is.
For Caribbean blacks it is. But for black Americans, you think it's not? Or do you think...
I don't know.
Do you think black people in America...
I think it is exactly that.
Once we get to America...
once we are Americanized...
Yeah,
we all, no matter what race, I think we all just do the same thing.
Okay. So America's the culprit.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And if so, what you're saying is if we go back to the Caribbean...
Yeah, you
would conform to whatever that...
You will see women catering to men.
So why is women catering to men now so bad? Why is that looked at as like, why are you going to fix this
Because it's
plate?
like, why should I? When you haven't provided nothing for me that I can't provide for myself. Why am I going to do extra work?
It's not extra work. It is something you were nurturing. You're a nurturing person, right?
Yeah.
If you make food or if we do any food, would you want the man to set the plates out, do everything for you and take that role?
If the man cooked,
yes. He can do that. If he cooked, then he can do that.
You will set the plates apart and everything, yes.
So do you think that if you didn't do that, right? Like say you didn't do that and you allowed the man to do that because he cooked, do you think that will make you more attractive on the marketplace, that a man sees that you're not willing to fix a plate, you're not willing to cook, you're not willing to clean? Do you think that makes you more attractive even though you think it's extra?
It wouldn't make me more attractive in the marketplace because the man would obviously be wanting for me to do that. Mm-hmm. But my thing is like, why? Like, what are you? I have to know, what are you bringing to the table? And that's me in my American modern relationship, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, again, if I'm in Dominican Republic or like in the Caribbean,
you're not even asking man what he's bringing to the table.
I'm cooking and I'm bringing you a plate. Mm-hmm. But that's also because we have different responsibilities in that setting, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. So some women look at what all the negatives that the women had to deal with that came before them, right? But never look at any of the positive that the women like your grandmother, your mother had, or were afforded because they were staying home and it was only a man that was working.
I can only see the positive of them not having to go out to the workplace, which I think they would have loved the opportunity to anyways, because who wants to be, once you have to do something, once you're stuck at home with the kids all day, there's no socializing outside of that. That's not what you want to do for the rest of your lives. Like, if I'm not going out to work, what people am I meeting? So again, like, the only positive I can see is the ability to stay at home, not have to go into the work life, not being stressed with work life. But that can also be a negative or turn into a negative because you're not socializing outside of your household. Mm-hmm. And that can drive anyone crazy. So you're limited to the amount of friends you have, to who you speak to. It's literally your children, your husband, and your family.
No, remember, it was a culture, right? So before, a lot of women, if not all women, then go to work, right? So that means all you guys are at home.
Yeah.
That becomes your social circle. That's who you go on park walk. So it's not like you're not socialized. Trust me, you guys were at home. It was tons of benefits when you were at home. That's why your mother chose it, your grandmothers chose it, your great grandmothers chose it before you, because it did benefit them. Women didn't have a need to want to choose and want to do everything or whatever. Or if they did have that right, they didn't act on it, right? Because they knew that there are trade-offs. They knew that if they forfeit a right to be independent, that they would lose their place in a home. And they didn't want that back then, even though they wanted it for you. They didn't want it for themselves. So that's what you guys have to understand. They wanted for you. They didn't know what it was like. Now that you have it.
And they wanted for us because they didn't like their experience.
They wanted for you because they felt like it would be a better experience for you without even testing both theories. They just thought it would be. But I clearly see it's not.
But you know what I do say? I think that they do see how detrimental
it is to society.
Pushing singleness, singlehood, independency is and can be for their daughters. I see that in my family, like how they not apologize but feel remorseful that they pushed independence instead of building with someone.
So what is your advice if we had a daughter, because we only have a son, if we had a daughter, what would you push to her? Would you push this toxic femininity?
I would definitely push education and independency for sure, but with a balance of, yes, you need to be able to be independent, make your own money, make your own choices, have a good head on your shoulders, be intelligent, just to be a functioning human in this society and world, and be able to take care of yourself, God forbid, of anything. Because even if you have a husband, your husband could pass away. You still need to be able to do what you need to do to survive, right?
So what positive are you telling her? How are you telling her how to be a wife? How are you telling her how to agree with men?
I think the everyday, her seeing her mom do what I do every single day is teaching her how to be a woman and a wife.
Seeing is not enough. They have to see it, I agree, but seeing is not enough. What are you going to tell them? Because they can see it and they can internalize it one way. But are you going to tell them?
I don't want to do that.
Because you know
too much.
Because you know what to tell her not to take from a man. I'm pretty sure you're gonna tell her that. You're not gonna tell her and go, look at me and see what I don't take from your father. That's not what you're gonna say, right? You're gonna tell her. So how come you guys have a hard time telling them what to expect from a man? What kind of behavior a man expects from you?
Oh, for sure, you can definitely. But I feel like women don't want to box their daughters into, well, a man expects a home cooked meal every day, so, or a man expects you to be this way and dainty and florally, because that's like unrealistic expectations even for us, right? You
don't have to tell her she needs to be. You have to tell her what men expect. Okay. That's what I'm saying. At least educate her that this is what men are looking for.
What would you say?
I would say men are looking for a woman with the right mindset. The right mindset, no matter how old or young or whatever you are, the right mindset means that you want to build with me, because everything is about building, multiplying, building, creating family, building together, working towards goals. That's what you do with men. Once you get together with a man, you don't want to be stagnant. You want to push him. He needs to push you. You guys need to work together. There are roles. There are gender roles. There are things that you just can't do. There are things that he can do. All that stuff I would tell my daughter, right? And then she can be who she wants to be, because ultimately everybody chooses to be whoever they want to be. But I will empower her by telling her what men expect. Men expect for her to be fit. Men expect for her to have a fitness level. Men don't expect for her to be fat. Right? That's
not sloppy.
Not sloppy, not
put
fat.
Together.
Fitness level. We expect to have somebody fitness. Men, a serious man expects for you to be childless if he's going to take you seriously, especially if he has no children. I'm going to let her know that. No matter how messed up that sounds, a serious man who's looking into you, you put yourself at a detriment. If you have a child, and don't marry that man that you have a child. It's not something you could just sweep under the rug. That's something I would tell her. Guard your treasure, because you have the power. You control access to sex. Like, I'm telling her all the stuff that you guys don't tell each other. That's what I'm gonna tell my daughter, right? That you have that, but I'm not gonna tell her, because you have all this stuff, that you should use it, you should weaponize it towards men, or whenever a man says something to you that you don't like, then you need to immediately like exit. I'm not going to tell her all that stuff, because that doesn't make any sense, right? So I just think that we do not take enough time for us to teach women and men how to be productive in society and in a relationship, how to be agreeable, teaching her how to work through conflict, because there will be conflict. Teaching her that
how to communicate, how to listen.
Teaching her that relationships are not all good. Even if they look like they're going to be good in the beginning, they're not all good. Telling her what to expect. Because I think people have unrealistic expectations because they don't know what to expect. But they feel like what they see in movies is what to expect. So that's what I think that we're missing inside of Black culture.
Okay. I like those points. I really like all those points. I agree with those. And on that note, guys,
we will see you next time. And don't forget, if you agree, you disagree, we love hearing the comments. Like if you like the show, subscribe, share it, and get it out.
Comment.
And as always, you will hear us next Tuesday.
Bye.
Peace.